Hi, welcome back to MTA. Today we'll show you how to quickly identify your tax office reference number and avoid HMRC delays, errors, and compliance issues that can impact your 2026 tax filings.
Hello and welcome! We're going to tackle something today that trips up so many people, understanding the tax office reference number here in the UK.
You know that feeling, right? You get your payslip, and it looks like it's written in some kind of secret code. It's an alphabet soup of letters and numbers, and it can feel like you need to be a code breaker just to figure out your own earnings. Well, the good news is, today we're going to crack a big piece of that code together.
And we're not doing this alone. This entire guide has been put together by the expert tax advisors over at My Tax Accountant. They're a really well-known and trusted accounting firm, so you can be sure the information is top-notch. We're in very safe hands.
So, here's our plan. We'll start by navigating what I like to call HMRC's confusing number maze. Then we'll get straight to the point. What is the employer payee reference? After that, we'll cover how to tell it apart from other numbers, and, this is the really practical bit, exactly where you can find it. We'll finish off with a quick round of common questions. Sound good? Let's get started.
Okay, first up, let's talk about this number maze. Honestly, it's no wonder people get confused. The UK tax system has a whole bunch of different reference numbers floating about, and it's not always obvious what each one is actually for. I mean, just look at this list. You've got your unique taxpayer reference, or UTR, your national insurance number, which most of us are familiar with. But then you've also got company registration numbers, employer reference numbers, and even accounts office reference numbers. Each one has a very specific job, and mixing them up can cause some real headaches.
Right, so let's zoom in on the star of the show today. What exactly is the employer payee reference? This is the one that's really key for anyone who's an employee.
Okay, here's the most important thing to get your head around. This number is a unique code that HMRC gives to your employer, not to you personally. Think of it like your company's unique ID badge for the entire tax system. Its main purpose is to make sure that the pay-as-you-earn tax and national insurance that gets deducted from your salary goes to exactly the right place.
Now, to make things just a little more interesting, this number goes by a few different names. You might see it called the employer PAYE reference, the employer reference number, often shortened to ERN, or just the PAYE reference. Don't let that throw you. They all mean the exact same thing.
So what does it actually look like? Well, it's always in two parts. The first three digits, the 1, 2, 3 in this example, identify a specific HMRC tax office. And a little bit of trivia for you, that's a bit of a throwback to when tax offices were actual physical buildings you could visit. The second part, everything after the slash, is the code that's completely unique to your employer's payroll scheme.
Okay, let's move on to telling your numbers apart. Now, you'll want to hear this part, because this is where a lot of people get tripped up. It's really easy to confuse the employer payee reference with other numbers, so let's make this simple.
Right, let's look at the employer payee reference versus the accounts office reference. The one on your payslip, the payee reference, is all about identifying who your employer is. It's their ID. The accounts office reference, on the other hand, is a different 13-digit number that the company uses behind the scenes to actually make the payments to HMRC. You won't see that one on your documents, so you don't need to worry about it.
And here's the other big mix-up, the ERN versus your UTR. It's simple, really. The employer reference number, the ERN, belongs to your company. It's all about your job. So when you change jobs, you'll get a new ERN on your new payslip. Your unique taxpayer reference, or UTR, is all about you. It's your personal tax ID for things like self-assessment, and that number stays with you for life, no matter how many jobs you have.
Right, that's the theory done. Let's get practical. How do you actually find this number when you need it? Let me walk you through it.
So, the easiest place to look is right on your payslip. It's usually labeled pretty clearly as employer PAYE reference or something similar. It will definitely be on your P60. That's the summary you get from your employer at the end of every tax year. If you've left a job, it's on the P45 they gave you. And any official letters from HMRC about your tax code will have it on there too. And look, if you can't find any of those, just ask your HR or payroll team. They'll have it on file.
And here's a little tip from me. The next time you get your P60, just take a quick, clear photo of it on your phone. Save it somewhere secure, maybe a password-protected folder. Seriously, having a digital copy of that document handy can be an absolute lifesaver when you suddenly need one of these numbers. You'll thank yourself later, trust me.
Okay, it's time for a quick fire round. Let's tackle some of the most common questions that people ask about this number, just to clear up any lingering confusion.
So first up is a question we hear all the time. Does the tax office reference number change if I switch jobs?
Yes, 100%. Remember what we said earlier? The number is tied to your employer, not to you. So a new job means a new employer, which means a brand new tax office reference number on your payslip. Simple as that. Your personal UTR, on the other hand, stays the same.
Next question. What about all the freelancers and self-employed people out there? Do they have a tax office reference number?
And the answer to that is a straightforward no. If you're self-employed, you're not part of an employer's PAYE scheme. You handle your own tax through self-assessment, and the key number for you is your unique taxpayer reference, the UTR. You'll only ever deal with an employer PAYE reference if you're an employee, or if you set up your own limited company and become an employer yourself.
So, let's boil it all down. If you only take one thing away from this, let it be this. The tax office reference number is your employer's ID for tax purposes. It's not yours. And you can always find it on your key pay documents, like your payslip, P60, or P45. Just knowing that puts you in a much stronger position.
Now, before we wrap up, it's really important for me to say this. Everything we've discussed here today is for general guidance. It's designed to help you understand things better, but it is not a substitute for professional financial advice that's tailored to you and your unique circumstances. When it comes to tax, it's always smart to speak to a professional.
And speaking of professionals, if you do need that expert help, you can get in touch with the fantastic team at My Tax Accountant. All their details are right there on the screen. And if you'd like to read more on this topic, they have a brilliant, in-depth article on their blog at the web address shown.
So hopefully you're now feeling ready to take control of your tax affairs and face that payslip with a bit more confidence. For more clear and simple guides just like this one, make sure you hit that subscribe button for the My Tax Accountant channel. Thanks so much for watching.